Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. The NFL draft is right around the corner, and every single year, maybe the biggest question when it comes to draft time is the quarterback position. Who is the best quarterback in the draft? Which quarterback is going to be taken first? Which quarterback is going to succeed the most and help rebuild a struggling franchise? Which quarterback is going to be the steal of the draft? So many questions for the most important position on the field. And today, guys, we're going to give you our NFL draft quarterback rankings, our top 5 quarterbacks heading into next week's NFL draft. So welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. We're so glad that you could join us today. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our official website, thegridironexpert.com, because again, guys, here at the Gridiron Expert, college football never dies. The season never ends here at our channel. We want you to become a part of the discussion. We want you to become a part of our GE Nation, and you can do that by liking, by commenting, by subscribing, and hitting that notification button so you don't miss out on any of our future content going forward. So let's dive in, guys. We got 5 quarterbacks to break down. 5 quarterbacks today to break down. Some of these rankings may surprise you, but we're going to start at number 5. Leave you in suspense, working all the way up. Coming in at number 5, we have Hendon Hooker from Tennessee. That is who we have in. Now, this is a guy that's probably not going to be a first-round draft pick. Might be a round 2 or 3, maybe even a day 3 selection. There's a lot of concern surrounding Hendon Hooker right now, especially with the ACL injury that he suffered towards the end of last year at Tennessee. Also, many people are slightly concerned with his age, as he's a little bit older than the other quarterbacks in this draft. But you can't deny Hendon Hooker's skill. This guy has an extremely high football IQ. He's already impressed a lot of teams, not just with his knowledge, but with his willingness to learn and willingness to put forth that effort. And if you look at his numbers from Tennessee, a historic year for Tennessee last year, it's pretty unbelievable. He completed 70% of his passes in 2022 for over 3,100 yards, 27 touchdowns, and just 2 interceptions. And to me, it's that number that impresses me the most. The fact that Hendon Hooker takes such great care of the football. And let's keep in mind, this guy would have been the Heisman Trophy winner last year if he doesn't get hurt against South Carolina, then misses the finale against Vanderbilt, and of course misses the bowl game against Clemson. If he stays healthy the entire year, Tennessee maybe makes the college football playoff, but at the least, Hendon Hooker still wins the Heisman Trophy. He's a guy that's not as mobile as Anthony Richardson, but has shown that he has some dual threat capabilities. But he's a guy that also has to continue developing as a pocket passer and continue up his decision making. You know, he's done great in college. Can he continue to do that at the next level? Coming in at number 4, this is one that's probably going to shock a lot of people. Tanner McKee from Stanford. Yes, that is probably a shock to a lot of people that we have Tanner McKee as one of our top 5 quarterbacks heading into this draft. Now, I'm not saying that he's going to be drafted ahead of Hendon Hooker. I'm not saying that he is going to be a round 1 selection. He's probably going to be a day 3 pick or maybe even go undrafted. But there's a lot of potential here. From what I've watched in the film, I really, really like Tanner McKee. Kind of gives me vibes of the Davis Mills selection that the Texans had last year. You know, this is a guy that at Stanford had a horrible offensive line, had horrible talent surrounding him from a wide receiver and pass catching standpoint, but made the most of his opportunity, was able to do as much as he could with very little talent. And yes, Stanford was terrible last year. They were terrible the year before, but he's a guy that has a 6'6" frame. NFL loves their height. 6'6" frame. He's extremely accurate, and he's especially accurate on his short and intermediate passing routes. So that's actually something that, if I'm an NFL GM, if I'm going to watch the film, I really, really like. He might not have the strongest arm like an Anthony Richardson. He might not have the greatest deep ball ever, but he is accurate and he can deliver, especially when he has the time, something he really never had during his time at Stanford. Over 2,900 yards last year, 13 touchdowns in 2022. I love the arm strength. Again, not as strong as others, but I love the arm strength. I love the touch that he has, and I especially love his frame. I think he's a guy that, given the time, can extremely be developed and can fit in with the right offense. So he might not be a day 1 starter by any means, but let him develop behind a guy in a couple of years. This could be a NFL starter. I really, really like what I see out of Tanner McKee out of Stanford. And it's a guy no one's talking about because Stanford really hasn't done anything these last few years. Coming in at number 3, now we're getting into the big names, right? Number 3, Anthony Richardson from Florida. I will say that I believe that Anthony Richardson probably should have stayed at Florida. I don't think he should have taken the risk to come to the NFL, but he's going to be a first-round NFL draft pick. There's no doubt about it. He very well could be a top 10 draft pick when it's all said and done. Anthony Richardson is one of those guys that has more potential and upside than the stats to back it up. Last year at Florida, 53.8% completion. That's all he had. He completed less than 54% of his passes. He had 4 games where he completed less than 50% of his passes. But he has the strongest arm out of any quarterback in this NFL draft class. Strongest arm out of any of them. He is probably the most athletic quarterback than any quarterback in this draft. Ran a 4.43 40-yard dash. He's a freak of nature when it comes down to it. Athletically gifted, great frame, great size, everything you need in a quarterback, but can he deliver with his accuracy? Can he learn to be consistent, something he never was during his time at Florida? So for me, guys, yes, he's going to be a first-round draft pick, but it kind of shows you this is not a particularly strong quarterback class. Everybody's hyping this guy up, and rightfully so. He's very athletic, very gifted, but he's still only the 3rd best quarterback in this class, at least in our opinion. So Anthony Richardson comes in at 3, but he will be a first-round selection next week. Coming in at number 2, this was tough. It was tough to decide who was going to be number 1 and who was going to be number 2. And for me, I'd rather have it as like 1A and 1B. But we're not going to do that. We're not going to cheat like that. So coming in at number 2, barely, is C.J. Stroud. And I mean, again, for him and Bryce Young, it was 1A and 1B. Stroud, what I love the most about him is not just the numbers. A guy that threw for over 3,600 yards last year, 41 touchdowns, just 6 interceptions, completed 66% of his passes in 2022. I mean, outstanding numbers. It's not just that I like. It's his confidence. He just doesn't seem to get fazed by anything. He's very confident. He is arguably the most efficient quarterback in this draft class. He clearly, as we mentioned, is extremely accurate. He's calm in the pocket, has shown off occasionally dual threat capabilities, but needs to find a way to be able to extend plays a little bit better. He's not nearly as mobile or elusive as some of his other quarterbacks he's going up against in this draft class. But he's a guy that knows how to deliver. He knows how to deliver in crunch time. And yes, while he did not ultimately win a national championship at Ohio State, while he did not win a Heisman Trophy during his time at Ohio State, and I think he should have, he is one of the best quarterbacks in Ohio State history and will be one of the best quarterbacks in this draft. Very well could go number 1 overall to the Panthers, if not there, at least in the top 5. Coming in at number 1, obviously, is Bryce Young from Alabama. Again, it was so close between Young and Stroud. You could, either one's going to go number 1 overall. I would be shocked if anybody else went number 1 to the Panthers. But to me, Bryce Young is the best quarterback in this draft. He was the Heisman winner in 2021. And to me, in all aspects, is probably the most complete quarterback in this draft. Threw for over 3,300 yards last year, 32 touchdowns, just 5 interceptions, completing 65% of his passes. In 2021, the year he won the Heisman, threw for over 4,800 yards, 47 touchdowns, and just 7 interceptions. He's kind of like Joe Cool back there. He's extremely calm. Nothing, kind of like C.J. Stroud. Nothing really seems to faze him. He's very confident. He's brilliant when it comes to just his football smarts. He tested extremely well. Very, very high football IQ. Knows how to read defenses. I mean, there's really is nothing, no really dirt that you can have on this guy. One thing that people are concerned about is his size, saying that he's a little bit too small. And to that, I say, look at guys like Drew Brees, look at guys like Russell Wilson. Those were guys that many criticized their hand size, they criticized their height, and both have went on to have very successful NFL careers and went on to win Super Bowls. You can't deny that. I'm not saying that same's in store for Bryce Young, but the height excuse is one that can clearly be debunked by other instances in NFL history. So Bryce Young may be the shortest quarterback we've got here. Doesn't mean he's going to be the worst. To me, he is the most complete quarterback in this draft class and will make an immediate impact wherever he is drafted. Many believe that could be to the Texans at number 2 or maybe even the Panthers as the number 1 overall pick in this NFL draft. So there you have it, guys. There are a lot of other quarterbacks out there. Yes, Will Levis didn't make the cut. I don't really like what I see from Will Levis right now. He might be a first-round draft pick, maybe round 2, but did not make the top 5. Countless other quarterbacks that did not make our top 5. Leave your quarterback rankings below. Leave us some other sleepers in the draft that could surprise. We're about a week away from it beginning, and we're very, very excited to see how it all pans out. But today, our top 5 quarterbacks heading into this NFL draft. So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and check out everything down in the description below, including our website, thegridironexpert.com. Because again, guys, here at the Gridiron Expert, college football never dies. The season never ends here, and we want you to become part of our GE Nation. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.